We all experience conflict in both our professional life and our personal life. And people often wonder, well, where does conflict come from? As I've worked with individuals and worked with teams and worked with organizations, I've found that a lot of conflict comes from one of three things. People aren't clear about their goals, or they don't support those goals. They're not clear about the roles they're supposed to be playing, or they're not clear about what's expected of them in terms of behavior. And as long as people are not clear about these areas, there's going to be a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of disagreement. It happens both in personal life and business life, as I've said. Imagine a couple that's just been married and they come home from their honeymoon, and it's their first morning, their first breakfast together, and the wife, who's kind of fun-loving, comes bounding into the kitchen, and there she sees her husband sitting at the kitchen table with his hands folded. So she asks him, "Well, honey, what are you doing sitting there quietly?" And he says, "I'm waiting for my breakfast to be served." He's an only child, and his mom always cooked his breakfast, but she came from a large family, a lot of kids, and that's just not the way it was at her house. There was a lot of chaos and a lot of fun. So she gets a little irritated, and she crosses her arms and gets an edge to her voice, and she says, "Well, honey, if you're waiting for your breakfast to be served to you, you're going to be waiting a very long time." The same thing happens in the workplace. Let's take Frank, a new department head who's going to his first management team meeting. And as Charles, one of his colleagues, is giving his status report, Frank says, "Well, Charles, I've seen a couple of things in your department that I think I might be able to help you with." Charles looks at Frank kind of funny, and things get quiet. Charles came from a company where protecting your territory is the norm. If you share ideas with someone in another department, it's considered that you don't think they're very competent at what they're doing. Now Frank, on the other hand, coming in new to the company, he comes from a company where sharing ideas across departments freely is valued. It's something that the company wants to have happen. The company is floundering, and it's because we're not clear on what's expected. I'm Susan Silvers. If you have a team or an organization or a department that's experiencing a lot of conflict, I'd encourage you to look first at your goals, your roles, and your behavioral expectations.